Well, welcome back to Toyota Sports Talk. Finally, baseball is back, and this guy is back as well. It's been a little bit, but great to see Josiah Gray, Washington Nationals starting pitcher, healthy and back at it. JoJo, great to see you, my guy.
Absolutely great to have you. Great to see you again, and excited to talk to you guys.
How you feeling? That's number one. Obviously, you've been through the ringer. Surgeries, Tommy John, rehab, working your way back. Where are you at right
Yeah,
now?
I feel great. I'm a normal participant in the camp with the guys, so through my first bullpen today, felt good. Felt like I'm in a really good spot, and I'm just excited to be back out there and competing. I think that's a big thing. You spend so many hours and so much time, in the rehab process and trying to essentially make yourself feel good, but there aren't that many times you get to challenge your body truly. So I'm excited to see what this spring brings and just get back out there.
So I believe you had three minor league rehab starts toward the end of last year, and obviously now arriving here at spring training. Kind of from that point to like today, where are you at? Like how's that progression?
Progression is pretty normal. I've was able to get into games at the end of last year, and I think that was really worthwhile. And I was definitely taxed, but felt like I was in a good spot to go out there and pitch. And the results were pretty good. But being able to sit down in the off season and finally give the body some rest, and then load up for camp here, and then obviously what's going to be a long season. Just being able to be in those shoes, just taking it day by day. But I do feel like I'm in a good spot and excited to get back out there and just play ball.
Obviously, there's a physical component, right, of getting the arm ready, but also the mental component. I'm curious, has it been hard to trust it? Like, have you found yourself, can I trust it all the way? Is there a hesitation there at all?
I think that's the last little bit everyone talks about is, the tissue and the ligament are healed, but the last thing you have to kind of get over is you're telling your mind and your body that, you're good to go, you're safe, and kind of just working through. I always talk about that new normal. We all know what the normal was. That was, going into the backyard as a kid with no warm up and, just throwing the ball and, having that rubber arm. But now the new normal is, having to prep for that, and getting everything moving before you go out there and pitch. So just adjusting to that. But yeah, the mental aspect of coming back from a long injury is certainly a thing, and I'm glad I was able to talk to guys like Kate Cavalli and Jake Irvin and uh, just guys that have been through the process to know that, hey, the little aches and pains, those are normal. You're good. You're good to go. Just trust it, and everything's going to be good.
How important are these spring training starts for you to be able to fully trust it again?
They're going to be huge. I think for me, it's getting back into game action is number one, and then just honing in, my pitches. I think, that's the last thing that really comes is obviously the mental piece, but then getting back the feel for your pitches. And I'm a guy that goes out there. I throw a lot of breaking pitches. That's where I found my success, and just honing in on that is probably going to be the biggest thing with this camp is working with Sean and working with obviously Simon and his staff and just ensuring that I have the best foot forward I can with my arsenal and going from there.
You've been a competitor all your life. Baseball's been your sport. How hard has it been the past year and a half to be away from the sport, to be away from being on the mound?
Yeah, it's definitely trying. I think words don't really sum up the picture of what rehab kind of is. You have to, sort of just take a step back in your day-to-day life and say, "Hey, I'll be there again at some point, but not today." And this past year, I definitely got into a point where I was like, "Man, the next game I'll be in, the next big league game I'll be in, is so far away," and you kind of get stuck in this mindset almost of complacency, almost of like this is where I'm at, and when you're not around the team and things like that, you kind of you miss it. So for me, it was tough. It was definitely tough. I was down here with my support system and the guys here at the complex, and got to be around some great guys and a great group on the staff side as well, and they took care of us. But I definitely missed all the guys up there in DC, and I'm excited to be back with them.
What'd you learn about yourself? Because I'm sure there's a lot of ups and downs, twists and turns through the rehab process, JoJo.
Yeah, I think you have to really find who you are and kind of fill your time. How do you kind of fill that gap where rehab is only so many hours in a day, but then what's your other hobbies outside of baseball?
Yeah.
And for me and my wife, it was going to the movies and kind of just hanging out around the house and doing little things that we could, but essentially keeping yourself busy. And then I always look forward to, Nats games at 6:45. That was always our, let's make it to 6:45, then we can go to sleep after the game and root the guys on. So um, definitely have to find some other things that you enjoy, but I'm glad I went through that last year and a half, but I'm looking forward to better days ahead.
And you mentioned it, newly married. Congratulations, number one. How's married life, Josiah?
Married life is great.
Yeah.
We're great. We're down here, making our home. We got a little puppy, and he's doing great. So look forward to going back and seeing them after my long days here. But it's been all I can ask for at this point, and I'm looking forward to a lot of long-lasting memories.
Some free advice. Happy wife equals happy life.
That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard.
Let's talk about this rotation a little bit because obviously no more Mackenzie Gore. Somehow, some way, this club's got to find a way to fill that void. You'll obviously have an opportunity to get back in that rotation. Talk about collectively these starting arms for the Nationals.
Yeah, I think first off, everyone in this clubhouse is going to miss Mackenzie with the fire that he brought out there to the mound, the type of competitor he was, and also the type of teammate he was. So, want to wish him nothing but the best over there in Texas, and I know he's going to crush it, with the vets and the team they have over there. And then speaking about us, I think there's going to be a lot of guys that obviously have to take that next step and step up and continue to show what we can do. That's going to start with Cade Cavalli, who, did his thing, when he was called upon last year after battling some injury luck. And, he's a guy I rely on a lot. We talk a lot and just being pitchers that have dealt with some injuries, kind of how can we, prepare better or recover better, those sort of things. And then you have Jake Irvin, Brad Lord, Mitchell, Jake Eater's a guy. And then you have the vets like Foster Griffin and Miles Mikolas. And I think, the collection of the group is really solid. It's obviously going to be a competition in camp, and, the best five are going to go up north and, make starts. But I think everyone knows kind of the stakes and that, every day matters, every bullpen matters, every live BP, and every game obviously will matter. And I think we have a lot of guys that can go out there and surprise people. And with the staff of Simon, Sean, Dustin Glant, I think we have the recipe for a lot of people to go out there and kind of surprise with what we can do.
And then it's a new era, new regime in a sense with Paul Taboni upstairs and Blake Butera, the new manager, kind of a youth movement, younger guys. How do you guys like that? Kind of a youthful energy to them.
I love it. I think it's definitely resonating within the clubhouse with their energy, their fire, and that's kind of the kick in the butt you sometimes need. And for us, guys that have been here, for 2+ years, 3+ years, I think we want and we know that we can achieve better things within this clubhouse, and we have more than enough talent to do it. It's just how do we streamline that? How do we, go out there with our best foot forward every day? And I think, on the pitching side with Simon, kudos to him. He's already, commanded the room. Whenever he speaks, guys are listening. I think that's a big thing when you have a young group, along with a couple of veterans. And, having Blake and all the guys on that side of things, on the hitting side, I think, there's going to be a lot of good energy out there, and guys are going to go out there and really, want to run through a wall, honestly, and try and win baseball games, and that's what we need. And the season's long, but I think we're all chomping at the bit to, see what we all can do.
We'll end with this because obviously you're working your way back. I'm curious, what does success look like for you for this 2026 season?
I think it's as simple as staying healthy and doing what I can do out there on the mound and what I know I can do. We want to try and be more process oriented. The results are going to be the results, but sticking to the process. Hey, did we execute this game plan the way we wanted to? Did we throw this pitch the way we wanted to? Sorry. Um, Kind of just making sure that we don't get too caught up in, hey, the results weren't there today. Let's look at how we approach this at bat. That could have went either way, because a lot of moments in a starter's outing, are made with two or three pitches. You know what I'm talking about? So,
Yep.
just trying to sum up all of that and just being healthy, being process oriented, and going out there with my best and confident foot forward, and just getting back to playing ball.
Well, I know we're all looking forward to seeing you back out there, Josiah Gray. Really appreciate you taking the time.
Absolutely. Appreciate it. Thank you.